Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Al Zucaro, and welcome to Citizens of the World, brought to you by Fugazi International Travel. That's www.fugazitravel.com. As you know, we are located here in Boca Raton, Florida, and it is a very, very interesting week. Early voting has started. As you can see, I have voted. And I first went to attempt to vote on Saturday morning, the first day the polls opened here in Florida, and I actually was quite surprised that at 7:15 in the morning the line was around the corner. I then went again on Sunday, didn't try to vote, but again the line was around the corner. And then today I went, and the line was relatively modest at 6:45 this morning. I waited through, and I was out the door at 7:25. So early voting is on. I appreciate the fact that it is, and I encourage all of you to go out and to vote early so that we can get a sense of where this election is going, particularly with the storms that are coming onto the East Coast, and we really are very concerned about the effects of those storms on some 50 to 60 million people. In today, we will be covering a number of topics. First topic that we're going to talk about in a few minutes is retail stores and the kinds of contributions and political bends that they have. We have Tony Macaluso, who's traveling the world, and he has left us an item to play for today. In Fireworks and Politics, we're going to be covering two items. One is going to be the notion of civil unrest to win the presidency, and the other is going to be the notion as to whether or not we have a Saudi plant in the White House. And then finally, in Chaos and Kudus, or Kudus and Chaos, we're going to be playing a small video clip presented by Parenting Magazine on some of the insights that young children have and the things that brings them to the table with regards to elections. So with that said, we'll be right back, and we thank you for joining us. Again, this is Al Zucaro from Boca Raton, Florida, Citizens of the World. We are, all of us, the residents of a swiftly shrinking globe, where what was once local is fast becoming global, and our decisions and opinions resonate well beyond our own borders. Join me each week, your host, Al Zucaro, from the epicenter of the Western Hemisphere, Boca Raton, Florida, in sunny South Palm Beach County, for a pointed look at politics, immigration, culture, and what it means to be a citizen of the world. Well, welcome back, folks, and we're going to go on to our commentary of the day. This section of the show is brought to you by alzucaro.com. That's me. My website is www.alzucaro.com, and of course, we are an immigration law firm, and we look forward to hearing from you. But, you know, this is election week, and one of the things that has been quite interesting that has come up recently is the item of who contributes what to whom. So one of my viewers, and I thank her very much, sent me a list of shopping experiences. It says, Americans can now determine where to shop and spend their money based upon political contribution. The election cycle, political donations, as reported by the Center for Responsive Politics. And we'll go down a list of those that contribute mostly in Republican and Democrat terms. For instance, Costco's. I go there all the time, but I'm going to have to rethink this. They donated $250,000, round figures, $250,000, 99% of which went to Democratic candidates. Rite Aid, $517,000, 60% to Democrats. Let's go. Martha Stewart Living, $153,000, 99% to Democrats. Estee Lauder, $448,000, 95% to Democrats. Calvin Klein, $78,000, 100% to Democrats. Levi Strauss, $26,000, 97%. Let's see who has done some of the Republican side of the equation. Walmart, $467,000, 97 went to Republicans. Kmart, $298,000, Nope, again I'm wrong. Kmart, 524,000. 86% went to Republicans. Home Depot, $298 went to Republicans. Target, 226, 70% to Republicans. And on and on. I mean, it's just very impressive how much money is being contributed here. In the spirits world, Southern Wine and Spirits down here in Florida, 213,000, 73% went to Democrats. Joseph E. Seagram's, $2 million plus, 67% went to Democrats. Gallo Wine, 337, 95% went to Democrats. Coors and Budweiser, 174, 92% went to Republicans. And let's go on a little bit to the food markets. Sonic Corporation, wow. $83,000, 98% to Democrats. Pilgrim's Pride, $366,000, 100% to Republicans. Let's see, we're at Waffle House, $279,000, 100% to Republicans. McDonald Corporation, $197,000, 86% to Republicans. Darden Restaurants, Red Lobster, Olive Garden, Smoking, 89% to Republicans. I think you're getting the gist of my comments. You can use some of this perhaps as a measuring tool for where and why you'll shop. At any rate, that is my commentary for the day. Shopping is a political experience. And when we come back, we'll be back with Tony Macaluso and his comments with regards to real estate and the investments in real estate here in the United States. Thank you very much, folks. We'll be right back.
Thanks, Al. Citizens of the world, this is Tony Macaluso, international realtor and educator. Today I'm going to focus on something that's right in our backyard. Panama. Panama City, 1.1 million population just in that one city alone. The canal is about 70% of their gross domestic product. About 15,000 vessels a year go through there. About 300 million tons of goods that go through the canal. And, of course, they've got logistics, maritime services, and a lot of hospitality that goes on. But it's been the focus of a lot of U.S. residents who are looking for an alternative second home, maybe even with the potential of going there during their golden years when they retire. Because they've instituted a pensionado program which gives discounts for everything you can think of. If you're going to be a retiree and you just have to prove a modest amount of steady income, and you're going to be welcome there, they're going to give you the kind of pass, if you will, to have you come and go out of the country anytime you want to go back and visit your grandchildren. So they've made it very easy in terms of immigration as well. There's going to be a major change, however, in Panama, and the change is going to be very much for the better. By 2014, and it might be a little delayed, they announced that they're having some construction issues, but by 2014, the new canal, the new, bigger, wider, and more capacity offering canal is going to be in place. And what they've done is very clever. They took an old U.S. Air Force base at the southern end of the canal on the Pacific side, and they transformed it into an economic center called Panama Pacifico. The Panamanian government and World Bank has kind of backed this entire project. It is an industrial project, office project. It's going to have 20,000 new homes there. It's going to create about 40,000 Panamanian jobs. There's going to be hospitals there as well as education and communication hubs, and 100 million square feet of commercial space. It's a free trade zone to catch the stuff that's coming in on the Pacific side so that people can bring their goods in and then transport them to a third country without any impacts in terms of tariffs. Now, on the other side, which is the Gulf of Mexico, on the Atlantic entrance to they have formulated something called the Colon, C-O-L-O-N, free trade zone. This is another 1,000 acres or so of warehouse and shipping and distribution centers, and again, it's for imports and re-exports. About 2,500 companies presently are in the area with about $16 billion worth of gross volume in terms of goods. We're talking about 250,000 buyers that come there to do their business, and the exports and re-exports, of course, contribute to a significant amount of logistical jobs which can employ a lot of Panamanians. Now, it's going to change the dynamics for all of us. Right now, Venezuela would love to export their oil to Asia, but after going around the entire continent of South America to get it over to the Pacific is too costly, and so there's no bargains available there. However, when these new tankers are going to be able to traverse the Panama Canal, they're going to come right up from Venezuela, straight across the canal, and they're going to have access to all those Asian markets, which I'm sure it is good for the Asians. What's also good for the Asians is all the manufactured goods that we get from Korea, that we get from China, Taiwan, and such, all end up on the west coast of the United States, even though their markets may be on the east coast of the United States. Well, now, those ships are going to be able to go through the Panama Canal and up the east coast of the United States, and of course, the first ports they may hit may be right here in Florida, but they're going to take their goods and not have to transfer them to a ship or a smaller ship or even to rail or overland trucking to get their stuff into the markets up in the Northeast. So what else is going to happen? Cruise ships are going to be able to navigate in through the canal that presently can't fit because they're too big. Now, what's it going to mean for Florida? Here's the first part it's going to mean. Our Florida ports are going to get a whole lot more business. Miami presently is in the process of dredging out their ports to accommodate these huge ships, these huge container ships and such. We have Jacksonville, we have Miami, we have Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, maybe even Pensacola might have a resurgence as well. Now, we're not the only ones. I'm sure Savannah and New Orleans are gearing up for the same thing, but this will change the dynamics of commerce, and Panama's going to be the place to invest both short and long term, without a doubt in my mind. Signing off for Citizens of the World, this is Tony Macaluso. Have a great day.
Well, welcome back, folks, and thank you, Tony, for your insights with regards to real estate and its market here in South Florida and in the United States. Now, we're moving on to fireworks and politics, folks. This portion of the show is brought to you by Palm Beach Regional Center. That's www.palmbeachregionalcenter.com, and you can locate us on the web. And, of course, we are in the business of attracting foreign investment capital and creating jobs here in America. Well, I have two items I want to talk about today. The first one, my friend Glenn Beck, who I've met on a couple of occasions, a very interesting man, probably one of the most well-read, most opinionated people that I know, has been talking a lot about civil unrest. He's been talking about the unions. He's been talking about the Black Panther Party. He's been very vocal about it. Well, I actually am a proponent of some of the things that he says. And just recently, as we approach this election, I find that the more likely it is that the president loses, the more likely it is that we will experience civil unrest. So today, we're looking at a website called Visions to America, and there is a question that's being asked on that website, and that would Obama incite civil unrest to win? And the article goes on to talk about, is the president willing to incite civil unrest to win re-election? As we have been encouraged to wear our dog whistles, I don't know what that means, one can hardly be blamed for wondering. Worse yet, we know the answer. He's already doing it. And it then goes on to talk about his recent comments in Rolling Stone magazine, where he called Mitt Romney a bull, blah, 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 and cast him in an angry manner. And the suggestion is that he did that purposefully. Well, I have to tell you, when I looked this up originally, there were over... Well, here's the quote that he said. You can choose to turn the clock back 50 years for women and immigrants and gays. Or in this election, you can stand up for the principle that America includes everyone. We're all created equal. Black, white, Hispanics, Asians, Native Americans, gay, straight, disabled. No matter who you are, no matter what you look like, no matter where you come from or who you love, America, you can make it if you try. That's the president's comment. But he says it in such an angry way. Well, when I looked this up, there were 108 comments, and the greater majority of these comments suggest that people believe that this president would, in fact, stoop to encouraging civil unrest in a way to win the election. And don't forget, a couple of weeks ago, I reported the executive orders that in the context of civil unrest, he can declare martial law. We are in very dangerous ground here. Now, with that said, let's move on to my second item. My second item is a video, actually, by a man by the name of Avi Lipkin. And Avi Lipkin is an author about radical Islam. He's been writing about it for years. And in this article, he explores the possibility of whether or not President Obama is actually a Saudi plant, and uses the incident of President Obama's bowing to the Saudi king as a basis for his theory. I hope you enjoy it as much as I did.
In 1995, Avi Lipkin first published his timely book, Is Fanatic Islam a Global Threat? He was one of the first to sound the alarm about the worldwide danger of radical Islam. Avi is an American-born Israeli and has served many years in the IDF, both active duty and reserves. He is in demand as a guest speaker and has appeared in more than 500 churches and synagogues in many countries of the world. He has appeared on hundreds of TV and radio stations worldwide. His wife is Rachel, an Egyptian-born Jewess, who immigrated to Israel in 1969 and who has worked in Israel's radio service in Arabic for the last 25 years, monitoring Arabic language broadcast on TV and radio, as well as in newspapers. In a recent TV interview with scholar Gary Stearman, Avi says Rachel was picking up broadcast for years before the 2008 election, and the Saudis were saying, quote, "We will have a Muslim in the White House in 2008. If this is so, could it be that we have been set up by the Muslim world and perhaps the King of Saudi Arabia? Could this be why Obama bowed to the King of Saudi Arabia in 2009, to everyone's shock? Amazingly, Obama has since bowed to other foreigners, but now we understand that it was possibly to cover his earlier unintended faux pas. In this video interview, Avi Lipkin points out the fact that almost no one knew who Obama was until 2008. He only served in the Senate a very short time, and most of that time was spent campaigning for president, all the while without a legitimate long-form birth certificate listing a hospital and doctor's name. Obama still refuses to reveal that or anything else about his past, a past for which he has spent millions of dollars to conceal. Could it be that Obama's handlers have pulled off the greatest stunt and scam in history? Could it be that they have put an anti-American and Saudi-sponsored Muslim in the White House, thanks to a brain-dead American public and news media, both obsessed with skin color and with an American Idol mentality? Even more shockingly, Avi reveals that on January 19th of 2010, his wife picked up a broadcast on Nile TV from Egypt. She reports that it was a roundtable discussion wherein the foreign minister of Egypt reportedly said that he had a one-on-one meeting with Obama, who swore to him that he is a Muslim. Obama then reportedly explained to him all about his Muslim family background and practices. Then she alleges that Obama said, "I have a problem with some domestic issues, and as soon as I finish with the health care question, you Muslims will see what I will do for Islam regarding Israel." Avi adds, "By the way, it is a commandment in Islam to deceive the infidel, a commandment to lie, to say that he is a Christian when he is not a Christian." Could it be that Barack Obama is in the White House to represent Saudi Arabia's interests? Considering all the information that he has amassed on this topic so far, Avi Lipkin seems to think so.
Well, folks, I'm going to end the show today with kudos and chaos. My first thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about Judge K. Michael Moore, who ruled on August 31st that it is unconstitutional to charge out-of-state tuition to Floridians who are American citizens but who are dependent of parents who are illegal immigrants. I have to tell you, the more I look at that case, the more I read the opinion, the more I am absolutely convinced that Judge Moore is right, and that there is these young people that are citizens of the United States born to illegal aliens are no different than you and I, and should be entitled to all the benefits of American citizenship, bar none. And so, with that said, I thought it was interesting to take a look at some of the items that kids have to say. So, I'm going to present for the closing bell of this show tonight. Parenting Magazine recently did a video on kids and their relationship to election politics. And we're going to end tonight's show by showing you that video. It's kind of cute, but it is also kind of serious. We look forward to seeing you on the next show. Thank you very much, folks. Have a good evening, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye now.
I'm Sadie Zillow with Parenting.com. We're at a block party in Brooklyn, and we're going to find out what kids know about the upcoming election. Do you know who the President of the United States is?
No. I don't know. Wakayama.
How is the President doing?
He's doing good.
Why?
I don't know.
Where is the White House?
At the beach.
Would you like to live in the White House?
Yeah. We lived in there before.
Would you like to live in the White House?
No.
Why not?
Because I think my home is special.
Which party do you belong to?
My dad, my brother, and my mom.
Which party do you belong to?
What parties are going on? There are two parties going. I can't do this question.
How do you vote?
When you just get some cardboard. When my parents vote, I go with them and I do it.
How old are you when you vote?
4.
Would you like to be president one day?
No.
Would you like to be president?
No.
Would you like to be the president?
No.
I think Wonder Woman should be president.
If you were to look into the camera and pretend you were talking to the American people, what would you say?
Hello? I come in peace. I think my speech will be about no cigaretting. Maybe if they don't know my language, I could just with that.
Give us the speech right now about no cigaretting.
I wish that no one was cigaretting in our life.
Who is this man?
Barack Obama.
Who is this man?
I don't know which one that is.
Who's this man?
The other guy.
How about this person?
SpongeBob.
Who would you vote for of those 3 people?
SpongeBob.
Who would you choose to be president? If anyone in the world could be president, who would you choose?
Eliza.
Do you accept your nomination as president?
No.
We are, all of us, the residents of a swiftly shrinking globe, where what was once local is fast becoming global, and our decisions and opinions resonate well beyond our own borders. Join me each week, your host, Al Zucaro, from the epicenter of the Western Hemisphere, Boca Raton, Florida, in sunny South Palm Beach County, for a pointed look at politics, immigration, culture, and what it means to be a citizen of the world.
Wow, what was I thinking? This hurts. Oh no, girls. Keep it cool, eye contact. They see me. They see me. Ow, 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 ow.
Look, he's getting a mommy tattoo.
Ow, ow, ow. Am I crying? I'm not crying. Am I crying?
Sweating on the inside? Handle it on the outside with new Speed Stick Power.
I love her so much.
Aww.
Speed Stick. Don't sweat it. Handle it.
When I discovered the wonder of the path was easier to see. There ain't no other but the one I love. Won't you come deliver me? That's how it starts. That's how it starts. That's how it starts.
Everyone has an inner Mustang. Unleash yours. The new 2013 Mustang.
It starts as a day, like any other. Just a Saturday. Until we start connecting. Over 100 million of us. To turn this day into a movement. Where the small shop across the street gets big support across the nation. A day where communities prosper and main streets start booming. Because when we all come together,
that's the power of all of us.
That's the power of all of us.
That's the power of all of us.
Amazing things happen.
Sometimes I dream that here's me. Got to see that's how I dream to be. I dream I move. I dream I groove. Like Mike, if I could be like Mike. I wanna be like Mike. Like Mike, if I could be like Mike. Be like Mike. Be like Mike. Oh, be like Mike. Yeah, I try. Just one day if I could be that way. I dream I move. Dream I move. Like Mike. If I could be like Mike. I wanna be like Mike. Like Mike. If I could be like Mike. Oh, be like Mike. Like Mike. If I could be like Mike.
About 1,000 miles from the everyday, there's a place that's a bit more adventurous. And you don't have to catch a plane to get there, you've just got to think Australian. Come on into Outback Steakhouse, where our brand new menu is unlike anything you've ever explored, at prices that have travelled down under too. 15 meals under $15, starting at $9.95. It'll make you happier than a koala up a gum tree. Live adventurous. Go Outback.